Hi everyone, my name is Junon. I have a health science background and I'm the author of the book Truth and Empathy, How to Find Your Soulmate. And I'll put a link to the book below. This video is the MBTI personality type assessment of Elvis Presley. But before we dive into this topic, I would like to underline something about my book. It is written from a health science point of view, so we'll be looking at the anatomy, physiology, brain dominance, neurotransmitters, and so forth of the 16 MBTI personality types. And based on this information, you can determine your own type, and then you can identify who's the best match for you, because I do advocate that like attract like. So let's go back to the topic at hand. Elvis Presley's MBTI personality type. So to better understand how we can get to a type of person, we have to understand that the 16 MBTI personality types can be grouped into four main ones. The first ones are sensor judgers, the second sensor perceivers, the third intuitive thinkers, and the last one intuitive feelers. To me, Elvis Presley was a sensor perceiver, and I will explain why. I have some notes on screen so I don't miss anything. Elvis Aaron Presley was born on January 8, 1935 in Tupelo, Mississippi. He passed away on August the 16th, 1977 at the age of only 42 of an apparent cardiac arrest as a consequence of unhealthy eating habits and prescription drug abuse. He was an American singer and actor. He's dubbed the king of rock and roll. I think most people know all this information. He's regarded as one of the most significant cultural figures of the 20th century. He borrowed from a lot of the black artists in terms of his delivery and so forth. His music career began in 1954, and only at the age of 19. In 1955, RCA Victor acquired his contract in a deal arranged by Colonel Tom Parker, who would manage him for more than 2 decades. Presley's first RCA Victor single, Heartbreak Hotel, was released in January 1956 and became a #1 hit in the United States. Within a year, RCA would sell 10 million Presley singles. In November 1956, Presley made his film debut in Love Me Tender. In 1958, he was drafted into military service. Presley relaunched his recording career 2 years later with some of his most commercially successful work. He held few concerts, however, and guided by Parker's manager, proceeded to devote most of the 1960s to making Hollywood movies and soundtrack albums. Most of them were not critically acclaimed. While in Germany, Presley met a 14-year-old Priscilla Beaulieu, and they would eventually marry after 7.5-year courtship, and she would bear his only child, Lisa Marie Presley, and they divorced in 1973 because of a number of factors. For example, his drug abuse, the career stress and pressures that Elvis Presley, experienced, and also the fact that he was unfaithful, so he had a lot of affairs, so that also did not help. Some of his most famous films included Jailhouse Rock, Blue Hawaii, and Viva Las Vegas. In 1968, following a 7-year break from live performances, he returned on stage in the acclaimed television comeback special Elvis, which led to an extended Las Vegas concert residency and a string of highly profitable tours. In 1973, Presley gave the first concert by a solo artist to be broadcasted around the world. It was named Aloha from Hawaii. Having sold over 500 million records worldwide, Presley is recognized as the best-selling solo music artist of all time by Guinness World Records. He was commercially successful in many genres. So, for example, pop, country, rhythm and blues, adult contemporary, and gospel. Presley won 3 Grammy Awards, received the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award at age 36, and has been inducted into multiple music halls of fame. He holds several records, including the most RIAA certified gold. He was also known for his generosity because when he was alive, he lent his name and image to the American Cancer Society, American Library Association, March of Dimes, USS Arizona Memorial, and other organizations. But also he was not good with money management, and that's also led to his demise because he could not break apart from his manager, Colin Parker. Um, his net worth as his death was 500 million, and currently the Elvis Presley's estate is worth about $450 million. So when we look at Elvis Presley's life, it is typical of sense of perceiver. So at an early age, he was attracted to entertainment. So in terms of singing, even in terms of being able to play an instrument. So his mother bought him a guitar when he was 11 or 12 years old. So he practiced and learned how to play it. So these are people also who are the creative type. So they like things that are new, different. So it's not surprising that he was attracted to African American music and gospel and so forth. And it was controversial at that time because there was segregation in the States. So for him to want to spend time with black people and actually start singing at them and dancing like them, that was quite controversial in the 50s. And so that is something that would definitely see. The other aspect also with sense of perceivers is that they tend to be the type to not only be able to, let's say in his case, sing, but dance, but as well as being an actor. So these are people who are attracted to the entertainment in general. So you'll see that they tend to be able to pick up the skills rather quickly. So they usually don't have a formal education, but somehow they're able to, learn on the job. And actually he said that in one of his interviews, like he's not a theoretical learner. He learns more by practicing, and that is often the case when it comes to sense perceivers. Because of the fact that they choose professions that can serve some people at once and obviously be able to broadcast themselves to a lot of people, they tend to earn well. So that's why Elvis Presley became rich very quickly. I mean, he was in the early 20s and he was already doing very well, not only for himself but also for his family. And so that is again something that you'll see with sense perceivers. The other aspect is that when we look at Elvis Presley's which was his mother, I would say that he's probably a feeler, which means that he has introverted feeling as his first or second function. So the reason being is that he was very close to his mother, and even as a father, he was a very doting father. So he's the type of person who's very warm, very attentive. So these are people who are usually good when it comes to relationships in general. Although obviously he ended up getting divorced, but for other reasons. But he seems to be someone who has emotional intelligence. So in other words, even Presley was saying that obviously they had their challenge in their relationship, but overall he was kind-hearted. He had really good intentions. So you'll see that when someone is described as being loving, empathetic, and even in terms of his charity work, you'll see that people who are right-brain dominant tend to be more generous that way. So you'll see that because of again how, especially his relationship with his mother, in the sense that you rarely see someone who's left-brain dominant being so attached to their mother as a full-grown man. So that will actually again point to someone who's more right-brain dominant. So I would say that Elvis Presley is most likely a sense perceiver who is the feminine type. Now, whether Elvis Presley was an extrovert or introvert, I would lean more on him being more of an extrovert, in the sense that he is someone, if you actually look at his life, he's someone who always needed to have people around. That's why actually Presley, when she first started dating him, she always wanted to be on his by his side, because she was afraid that another woman would take his place, because he always needed female company. And also he had what we call the a group of people around him. They called it the Memphis Mafia. So he even though he was at home, he needed people around constantly. So he is someone who probably gets recharged by being around others. So that also points again to him being an extrovert. I was watching an interview of his, and he was saying that he would not want to be anonymous. He likes the attention. He likes people, focusing on him. So someone who likes the limelight like that is most likely an extrovert. And I would say that obviously him being, dubbed the king of rock and roll, he's someone who is also very energetic when you look at his performance and so forth. So he is someone who is the quintessential performer. So for all these, I would say that Elvis Presley is most likely an ESFP because he's a quintessential performer, in the sense that he's someone who was attracted to the entertainment very early. I mean, he was like only in like late teens when he decided to pursue his career. And you have to understand that obviously he comes from a modest background, and for him to take the risk of becoming a singer when obviously at home he would probably need more of a stable job. But no, center proceeds are risk takers, and you see that in Elvis Presley. So that's one aspect. I would say that because of the fact that he's hard-hearted, he's warm and tough, and it also Elvis Presley was very charming. If you actually look at his performances, I mean, he obviously was a good-looking man. But in terms of like having that charisma, and you'll see that most likely with people who are ESFPs, they like to draw attention to themselves and they enjoy it. And so that's the other aspect, and obviously the fact that he is an extrovert, because he's someone who enjoys attention, and also who also comes alive when they are on stage, and you can actually see that with Elvis Presley. So let me know if you agree or disagree with this MBTI personality type assessment by commenting below. If you like this video, if you learned something, please click on the like button. Also remember to click on the notification bell to be notified of other videos I'm going to be making. Subscribe to my channel, and we will talk soon.